Some people doubt whether women should be workers or leaders in churches. And there are passages in the Bible about this, but what I want to share with you today is examples of such. We see that, first of all, that Peter, Apostle Peter, was married, we know that, and we are told by Paul that he took his wife along. So Peter and the wife were busy traveling as part of their ministry. We also see in the Acts of Apostles that Aquila and Priscilla, leaders, church leaders that were working as tent makers, just like Paul, and that he met along his travel, were working also together in the church. One thing that we also learn is observing Joseph and Mary, Jesus' parents, and Joseph being his foster father. One very precious detail that we have from their life together was when Jesus was left behind in Jerusalem when he went for his bar mitzvah at the age 12. They didn't notice that he was not with them on the travel behind. And when they started looking for him and he couldn't be found, they went back to Jerusalem looking for him. And when they eventually found him in the temple, Mary said, "Son, why did you stay behind? Your father and I were worried looking for you." She didn't say I. She said, "Your father and I." And that shows very humbly, very gently, the way she respected her husband and appreciated him as the head of the house. And so it's interesting to see this. We know that these couples were just a few in a sea of others that worked together in the vineyard of God. And I encourage you with these little stories about the way people that were celibate like Paul and people that were married and many others since then have been working together, supporting each other. But I want to encourage you, it's not always the case that God calls both of them. There was a time my husband was a lay pastor in his school in Nigeria, holding every service every Sunday for the girls. I was not involved, I was just one of the congregation. And then it came to a point where I became a minister in the Pentecostal church we attended. I was involved in deliverance ministry and had long hours of serving in the church. My husband was not involved. But in many other cases like that, we find that the one that God didn't call to be the leader in that particular thing is the one that supports and encourages and provides the vital encouragement, support, physical and otherwise, and the patience needed by the one that is serving. And these calls are not always for a lifetime. They can be just calls for a few months, a few years. It came to a point my husband was called off from his school. I remember when he was a lay preacher and pastor, the Anglican Church asked him to be ordained. But that would have meant me working along with him, taking care of the women of the parish, and I couldn't manage linguistically. I was not able to hold a proper conversation in Igbo, And so he said, it's not possible. My wife is busy in the university and she struggles with Igbo language, so I'll continue doing as I do. And whether you are ordained or not, whether you are in a tiny church or a huge one, what is most important is that at home, the wife remembers that she's the wife, not pastor, minister, apostle. At home, his husband as a leader. And remember that when we appear before God, He will not ask you whether you have a paper to prove that you have been ordained, that you have a dog collar or whatever. The humble women that raised children for God are as important as those that hold big titles. So God bless you as you serve.